Okay, here we are to talk about the 14th studio album of the band. The last one of this trilogy started with Under the Red Cloud in 18, Queen of Time, and now with Halo. I have to say I'm in love with the three albums, and in my opinion, the best creative period of the band. What's your thoughts of this period, these albums, these last years of music?
Well, we've been working really hard during the years, and I think the band have been growing. Kind of, we are not the biggest band in the world, or in metal business, or even in Finland. But still, I think it's getting better little by little, and it's really interesting. And it just tells that it's been worth of working and touring. And luckily, we've been quite healthy. We are not young guys anymore, and so we have had a opportunity to do tours. We have a great management and great record label, so everything is working properly also in business-wise, which is really important if we want to do this for a living or as a profession. So yeah, I don't know. Luckily, we have many guys in a band who can compose music, so that's one reason why we can release albums year after year. And I don't know. On the other hand, we are just trying to relax and trying to do our best, and that's all you can do.
I think I can understand perfectly what you're saying about to be healthy and in good shape, because I think we are both the same age. I'm 46.
Yeah, I'm 46 also, 47 this year. So yeah, you are starting to feel it, that you are not a young guy anymore. Maybe your mind is working like 70 years old guy, but your body is not same as it was in your younger days. But I don't know. It's life, you know. You just have to deal with it.
Yeah, of course. I don't know, that the music is very subjective, because a song or an album that for me it's a masterpiece, maybe for another person it's completely crap. But for me, musically, this album follows the line of previous Under the Red Cloud and Queen of Time, with these progressive elements and maybe more heavy-oriented. I know everyone can have their vision of it, but that's the beauty of music, right?
Yeah, that's right.
That's the beauty of music, and that's the meaning of the feelings that we can feel listening the different styles of music.
I guess we have found some kind of formula to our band, and we are not trying to do the things totally the same way as we did with previous albums, but I still think that we're trying to be open-minded and trying to work with new ideas and trying to find like new angles here and there, try new sounds. But still, if these 6 gentlemen gather together, I think we have the sound, and whatever we do, I think it sounds like Amorphis. And I think the biggest like exotic sounds or ideas what the band did, I think it happened in the 90s already. So the scale of music styles that we can do is really wide. Mm-hmm. Of course, we don't want to do like crossover music. I think the bass is also always in heavy metal, and you can hear the roots, you can hear the death metal style here and there, but you can also hear this progressive and really sentimental and beautiful melancholic melodies here and there.
And that's the beauty of your music, I think. This mixture.
Yeah, it's quite natural for us nowadays, and of course we are trying to do the music that interests ourselves as musicians and as a music listener. and you cannot please everyone, and that's not the goal, of course. But we're just trying to do the music that we are releasing. We're trying to do it really professional way, and we're trying to keep the good quality of the music.
I suppose with all the pandemic, the way you work this time for the album changed a little bit, and about the recording, the production. Is it in this way? You change a lot of things?
Yeah. I think the basic idea was the same, that the guys just compose stuff at their home studios, and they sent the ideas over to Jens, and he picked the best songs for this album. So that idea was the same. But of course, because of this COVID situation, we were not able to travel to Sweden. Actually, Esa was the only one who really went to the Sweden, and other guys recorded their stuff here in Finland. And that wasn't the original plan, of course, but it was different. But at the same time, for me personally, I really enjoyed it because I didn't have to travel Sweden, and I worked many days, maybe 30 days or something, not in a row, but still it took lots of days to do the final album. But we started in the morning, and after studio sessions, I was able to come back home and do my stuff, and that was really relaxing. And I was able to forget the studio atmosphere, so to speak. So it was really fun to start a new day, next day, without any pressure.
And you mentioned Jens on the production. I think he's developing an important role in the band in the last years, in the sound, in the way you work. Is it correct, or it's like another member, just to say in some way?
Yeah, I think that's true. He plays a really big role in this album, and also in those albums he was doing with us. And he's really into what he's doing. He wants to concentrate and give all his best, and that's really nice, and we are really thankful that he worked with us with 3 albums. He always wants to work a lot with songs, trying to figure out what is the best tempo, for example, and sometimes we have to change keys stuff, and sometimes he has some ideas using growls in weird parts of the song, which is great. It's nice to have new angles and new ways to approach our songs, and we like the stuff he's been doing with other bands, and that's the reason why we picked him in the first place, and because he's a professional and we trust him, and that's why we want to give him a freedom as a producer, and I think that's the only way to do it properly with him. There's no reason to hire a producer if you are not trusting the guy, and of course you can always talk if some idea it feels uncomfortable or something, but mostly he always has the last word. He's the boss, so to speak.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
One of the important things I think in Amorphis is your lyrics. For all the people in countries, for example, that's my thought in Spain, that most part of people are not English speakers, and then the level of another language that in Spanish it's zero, maybe.
Yeah.
Could be very difficult to read the lyrics or understand something that in your case, in this case, Amorphis are explaining. For all the people who maybe are not in Amorphis wall and now are listening this conversation or the translation, can you explain a little bit the concept and what explained the lyrics this time, and how Finnish mythology could be an endless fountain for your songs during the years?
Well, I think if you're not understanding the lyrics, it's okay for me. I think if you just understand words here and there and the music with some lyrics, if they resonate, I think it's great that you can use your imagination and trying to figure out what this song means or what kind of feelings it brings to you.
I think so. Sorry, but this is the thing that I think people are doing with when people don't understand a lyric in English or another language. Yeah. Just with the music, create their own history or lyric, and that's the beauty of this.
Yeah, of course, it's kind of funny if you totally understand wrong the meaning of the lyrics, but for me it's totally okay because we're trying to entertain people, and that feels kind of stupid, to say that, but that's truth, because we are entertainers in the end of the day. And if you just catch some words here and there, and it brings you some kind of idea what this could be and how it resonates with our music, it's great to have like an inner film going on your head, so to speak, and that's totally okay. I just like that people enjoy our music, and if they don't, it's totally fine. This is not too serious thing. But about our lyrics, we are trying to, because we are Finland, we're trying to bring something out from Finland, like feelings, how we live here, how the people before us lived here, and some thoughts, what was the religion before Christianity here in Finland, not being like a prophets or anything, but still, I think when you're living here in North, a little bit isolated, it brings you some kind of feeling. We have long winters, dark winters. That's kind of a feeling inside you when you have lived your whole life here in Finland. And we have worked with the Kalevala book, the old stories and poetry from Finland, with many albums. But this new album, it's not taken straight from Kalevala, but I think it shares the same feeling in the background. And Pekka Kainulainen, who is writing lyrics for us, he's really into old myths and old beliefs, and nature also itself plays a big role in his life. So he put lots of things from there, and also some ideas from his personal life, maybe his ideas about situation in the world, not being political in any way, but still. And I know the guy really well, Pekka, and we are friends, and we talk always a little bit about the lyrics and the themes of the album. And it's really fun that you can trust a man who is doing lyrics for you, and you can always talk about it. And if you are not understanding something, you can talk what this means. And sometimes Pekka even don't know what he's trying to say. He just has some images in his head, and he's trying to find the right words to describe it. But sometimes he's wondering what this means, And that's the beauty of art, and that's the beauty of being open for the world, for the spiritual feelings and all kind of stuff. And doing co-working with him, it's kind of weird because he's not like a heavy metal guy at all. He's a little bit older than we are, but still our music and his words, they somehow fit together, and together we are really interesting package.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure in the future one of my travels, because I've never been there, will be Finland. But is for example nature so important as it seems to me for Finnish people?
Well, I think some of the people think that it's not that important. But if they move from Finland, I think after a couple of months they are starting to miss the countryside and the clean lakes and beautiful forests. So if you are living here, I think everything is quite obvious. But if you move away from Finland, it feels weird to be all the time in the sunshine and in warm weather.
Yeah.
And yes, of course, there are some people who really hate, for example, winter time because it's dark and long, and sometimes if you have a bad winter, it's really ugly in a way because it's really dark, and if you don't have snow, it's really dark and cold, and that's boring. Lots of people depressed during the winter time because of lack of sunshine. But still, I think lots of people, I mean, during this COVID era, I think lots of people have found nature again, and people have started to walk more in nature, in the forest, and trying to enjoy and relax and find themselves in the nature too.
Talking about songs, 11 songs, songs that for example touched me. Northwards with this progressive part in the middle, and magnificent choirs, don't expect it in the other way. Wind Name, for example, maybe the most experimental, or Alo, maybe my favorite with these beautiful female voices. Maybe something to explore for future music, these female voices with orchestral parts, because I find it very beautiful with the music in this time.
Yeah, and we have to thank Jens for those ideas. He wants to put some spices here and there, put more layers. I think in this Halo album there are not that much orchestral parts or experimental stuff. I think this album might be a little bit more guitar oriented, more heavy in that way. But still there are really nice parts, as you told, female vocals and some choirs. And we worked also one guy who is composing stuff for game. I mean for games and for movies.
And it's not new in your music. For example, in the last album you sing with Anneke van Giersbergen.
Yeah. I think it's not the main goal in our music, but it's great that you can put some surprises here and there. And sometimes when you are listening your own album first time, you are a little bit surprised. Okay, here is some weird guitar solo, for example, but it's nice, you know. If you're just doing everything by yourself, it's 100% pure Amorphis music then. But if you can have one guy extra on the album and put little spices here and there, I think it makes the music even more interesting. And it's nice that he didn't put that much orchestral parts to our music. I think that's not our thing at all, to try to do like huge sounds, like huge orchestra behind us. I think the most important thing in our music are the melodies and the six guys who is playing. And sometimes if you put too big sound behind the music, you kind of lose the main idea of the song.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like what he did. I mean, Jens, what he did for this album. Little spices here and there. And actually, if you are listening, there might be a shitload of layers. And that's the beauty of the music, that if you listen it a couple of times, you start to realize that there are some things hidden under the main layers.
Mm-hmm. And just for my curiosity, who is the female singer?
Well, actually, we have two female singers here,
yeah.
And a choir. We have of course, Nora from Israel.
Yeah.
And he recorded stuff with his choir. Noah Crewman, excuse me. Yeah, he did some stuff with his choir in Israel, and also some backing vocals, and then we have this another female singer. His name is Petronella Nettermalm, and she's from Sweden. She's a singer in a Swedish band called Pathos, and the idea came from Jens, because he's been a big fan of Pathos many years, and he had a dream that would be nice in someday to work with Petronella, and this was the time that he asked Petronella if he wants to do this, and he did. She did, and the results are beautiful. We are singing a duetto in the last song.
Yeah.
And that's really beautiful moment in the album.
That's the relaxing song of the album, the last one, just the calm after the storm. We were talking about the weather and the nature. I guess it was no easy to record the video for On the Dark Waters. I feel myself completely frozen watching the video.
Well, actually, it wasn't that cold. I think it was like -1 or 3, so it wasn't that bad. It looks it's like really freezing, but the day was
look more freezing, really.
Yeah, and it looks really that we are freezing our asses off, but it wasn't perfect day because it wasn't that windy, and we used a lot of fog there, and so using this fog, it makes the view, it feels really coastly, kind of like a dreamy atmosphere, and it's really beautiful video. And we shoot it in one day here in Finland. It was a long day, and after the day I was really tired, but I'm really happy with the results. It's beautiful and fits perfectly to the song.
Yeah. One of the characteristics of the band is your voice combining these clean and brutal parts. Do you feel more comfortable with one of these sides?
I started as a death metal singer, so the growling is more natural for me, and I think I'm at my best with growls. But on the other hand, it's nice to have more scale as a singer. So I'm happy that I can use also clean parts or clean voice. But of course, in studio, all the growls comes really fast, and it's really fun to record growling because I really have a passion for that. But clean parts. I don't see myself as a typical heavy metal singer like Dio or Bruce Dickinson. But still, I think.
Yeah, you have, in my opinion, you have a good and powerful clean voice.
Oh, thanks. But that doesn't feel that natural. But of course, during the years, I think I found my own voice also, and it's nice to use both styles. And it's also nice to compose something, because if you are doing crawling in the studio, it feels more like using distorted guitar or something like this. It's more rhythmical and it's like hammering, But composing clean melodies, it's nice that you can put really your emotions and your ideas for the songs, because everyone is also always listening the singer first, I think. So it's nice to use both styles.
Mm-hmm. Just I'm sure you have another interview. Just one last question, because I'm sure you have more interviews this morning.
Yeah.
One of the, I think, the important things for this new album is the change of level, because maybe for people who are more aware of this kind of things, of labels and this change that people from Nuclear Blast create this new label, Atomic Fire. What represents for you? You have the offer from Marcus and the guys. We are creating a new label. What's your impression about these movements?
Well, it's a little bit confusing, but still we are really happy about working with Marcus again, because he's been in the business for ages and he knows everyone, and so for us it wasn't that big step. Of course, we didn't know what to expect because it's a new label, but still there are guys working that we know already, and so nothing have changed that much for us. So it feels kind of weird that we are in a new label, but still we know everyone, and so far everything's been great, no complaining at all. So it's like moving from home and coming back to home, kind of.
Yeah, it's a little strange because you have a change of level, but working with the same people, I'm sure with the same conditions.
Yeah, I think some of the people are really confused what is happening here, but I think, I don't know, this is just my wild guess, but I think Markus just wants to be in the business. He loves heavy metal so much, and he loves the music and the bands and the persons who are doing this. I think he just cannot leave his career for that sake, you know. He's doing this. When he started, he was really young, and working with a label, it's been his another life, so to speak, or the whole life in other way. So I totally understand it. It's really difficult to stop what you are doing if you are still in your mid-age. So yeah, it would be, for me personally, it would be awful to stop doing music or stop working with Amorphis. Would be horrible. So I totally understand Markus that it's really difficult to let go what you'll be doing many years.
I guess it's difficult to understand these movements because we all know the music industry are suffering big changes in the last years with all the streamings and all these kind of things, and independent labels needs help sometimes from majors just to survive, and it's very complicated.
It is, and it's nice that, I mean, Atomic Fire, they are really sharing the same passion for music as we do, and they are really digging our music, which is great. They are just not just some guys behind their big tables, you know. Yeah. We met the guys many times, and we really know that they really love heavy metal music, and that's really important for me.
And this is the words from my side, from press, talking with anybody that understands and loves this kind of music, and not, as you said, a big boss just in their desk seeing the sales of the records with knowing anything about the artist.
Yeah, and I think the people who are listening heavy metal and who are fans, I think they are a little bit different than the people who are digging, for example, pop music or R&B. I think those people are more into songs, and metal bands are more into albums and the whole concept of the band. And if you are working in a big label that are not specialized for heavy metal music, maybe they don't always understand what is heavy metal or how the heavy metal fans act. And being on Atomic Fire, it's great that they totally understand the whole scale of heavy metal music.
And finally, I hope to see you playing live very soon in the future, because I don't know exactly the situation in Finland, but here it seems that it's recovering slowly, the normality, and things are returning to something called this normal. Because
we plan to go to States on April, and I guess we are going. I really hope it will happen. It's maybe 4 or 5 weeks tour in States, and we have lots of festivals booked in Finland and also in Europe. And I also feel that it's getting better slowly, and I hope the situation is normal after a year, and I totally hope that some festivals will be happening in summer festival season.
Okay, Tomi, thanks for your time. Hope to see you playing, as I said, playing live here in Spain or in Europe in some festival, and the best of luck to with this record and to the band.